One of the best songs in the world is Pretty Green Eyes, and he started showing fried chicken and fries or something.
Welcome along to Fried Chicken Fries. We're back for episode 2 in the Random Topic Generator podcast. So who knows what we're going to be faced with tonight. I'm Matthew Keeling and I'm joined by Richard Easterbrook. We're flipping the hosting as we move along this podcast. Hello, Richard.
Yes. Hello. You're right. We're a bit like England in the 80s.
Yeah.
Or the 70s when they like rotate the goalkeepers between Ray Clemence and Peter Shilton.
Yeah.
Which is a fair way of doing it. They shouldn't do it now though. Absolutely.
Oh, it would be very bad if they did that now. We enjoy talking about Definitely Maybe and Only Fools and Horses, and of course, Fried Chicken Fries. That's one of the best songs in the world. Last week, we got someone agreed earlier with my choice of Columbia as the best song on Definitely Maybe. Did you see that?
Yeah, so yeah. I didn't get any resistance to saying Slide Away.
No, I mean it's a fair shout. Like you argue.
I listened back to that album afterwards, and it is just incredible. Like
it's amazing.
So good. It was quite good in the first episode where we've had, Definitely Maybe, Only Fools and Horses, and obviously Fried Chicken Fries. It felt like an easy group stage that we just sailed through.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. So does this mean we're gonna get like France in the last 16?
Yeah, I don't know because I'm looking at some of the topics on there. Hey, let's just see where the wheel takes us.
Well, yeah, just a reminder. That's Frank that you can hear. Just a reminder that we are spinning a wheel that we've populated with various random topics, and whatever the wheel lands on, we have to discuss. We do get one veto per episode, which could land us in further jeopardy, as of course we then have to say the next topic. So, do you want to spin the wheel, Richard?
I'm going to spin the wheel, yeah. See where it takes us this time.
Are you spinning the wheel?
I'm a bit more worried this time.
Yeah, I'm quite concerned about that.
Right. The chosen topic by the wheel is the tide.
The tide.
The tide.
Nice. I think we can probably go with that. There's no need to.
Yeah.
It's not going to cancelled. So
yeah, exactly. You can't veto the tide.
No. I'm not actually. I'm not interested in the tide. What has that ever done for me? Well, we live next to the sea, so the tide. We see it come in and out. I don't really. I mean, obviously, it can be quite. Frank, can you stop that? It's quite annoying. I don't really know. Like, I don't like it. It's quite annoying because sometimes you can't. I went for a walk there and I wanted to walk along the beach, and I couldn't walk all the way along because the tide was in.
Yeah.
That's quite. I prefer the Mediterranean. You know where you stand with the Mediterranean because it's not tidal. So that's your thing. No, because it's just a lake, isn't it? Like, it's just a pond.
Huh.
Like, it'll move like a few inches, but it's not like particularly tidal.
Well, right. Yeah. I never knew that. Right, living by the sea, I have done for some years, and I'm from South Shields, which is famously by the sea.
It is, yeah.
And I can't say I have any knowledge of how the tide works.
Well,
I've just always known is it something that happens, and there are ways to check when the tide is in or the tide is out. But I don't ever pay attention to that. I will go to the beach and go, tide's in.
Yeah.
Stroke, tide's out.
I've lived by the sea for 32 years. And the only time I used to go fishing, I do occasionally go fishing. The only time I've ever paid any sort of interest in whether the tide will be in or out is if you go fishing, because it's better if the tide's coming in, usually, because it brings the fish in.
Yeah.
But I don't know how it works. Is it to do with the moon or something?
Yeah, I don't know.
No,
Should I
because
check?
yeah, should we? Yeah, should we?
I'll
Would you
check.
check? Would
Right.
you? Would you actually? Would you
I'll get
check?
I'll get Wikipedia.
Because like
Wikipedia.
I find it because if it just does it, then why does it do it? It's just annoying if it just does it for no like if there's no purpose to it, why does the tide come in and out?
Yeah.
Like what? Because it's just annoying, surely. Like, it must be shit being a fish as well.
Uh, well, I think you just go with it, don't you? As being a fish.
Like, oh, but I don't want to go over there. Like,
So I suppose I'm going this way, am I?
yeah. Oh well, that's me. See you later, Alan.
Yeah, tides are the rise and fall of sea levels caused by the combined effects of gravitational forces exerted by the moon, and to a much lesser extent the sun.
Right. How
Also
does
caused by Earth and Moon orbiting one another. There you go.
right? Okay. So I guess
So
so I guess it was right. So it was the moon. Like,
I just assumed that you got the North Sea, you've got us,
yeah.
like on one side, and what do you have on the other side? Norway.
Yeah, Norway. Yeah.
I thought it just like took it in turns, like a
Yeah,
push pull kind of thing.
but like
One
like
goes,
when they put the waves on,
yeah, they're like being down,
just take it
yeah,
into so it's like sloshing from side to
yeah,
side.
yeah. That's it. But the slosh is obviously because the body of water is so vast.
It is vast.
It just it just takes longer for the sloshing to stop and then begin again.
Yeah, yeah. So
I'm out of my comfort zone here. I'm gonna have to admit it.
yeah, well, I mean, I think I must. I mean, I probably quite. I think I've put this in. I begin to wonder why. I put this in, but I think it's like, do you like? I don't think we're going to get a long conversation out of the fact
No,
we
no,
exhausted the
no.
tide. But I think, should we rate the tide? I'm going to give the tide a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, well, I love the sea. I think the sea's
I like
great.
to see. I find it scary though.
It's scary and huge and like almost infinite as you look. If you're a flat earther, it's probably not infinite. You just fall off. But
Well, which is
I am aware there are things beyond,
yeah,
the horizon. But to be able to stand, less than a mile from my house and just go like you can see for absolutely miles here.
yeah,
It's pretty like it kind of reminds us how small we are.
yeah.
That's the sea. The
Oh,
tide itself is like a byproduct of the sea, and it becomes a little bit annoying if you want to
yeah,
build a sandcastle or something, or as people like to do and see and pick up sea glass.
oh, yeah,
Because
yeah. It
apparently
is.
it's better once the tide has just gone out.
Yeah, it is yeah. It does make us feel small, and then
Mm,
you realize how futile and insignificant life really is. I think
exactly.
I think that's probably the ties then covered.
Yeah,
Would you like to spin the wheel of trepidation again?
absolutely. So how long did we spend on that then?
Oh, I don't know what time. 10 minutes, maybe, if that.
Even that. Yeah.
Well, let's hope that
Right.
the next one is the wheel spin.
Just spinning again. Yes.
Right, yes. This is. Oh, he doesn't look horrified.
Eric Cantona.
Right. Oh, interesting. Now this is better.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this is one that I put in.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. I've
Mm.
never heard of
Never heard of him. Well,
him.
I've in the 1990s. Obviously, for the uninitiated, Eric Cantona is a very famous footballer. I'm sure you all know this.
So
I've
imagine.
had. I'll put it this way: I've had a look at the demographics from our first episode, and you will know that Eric Cantona is a footballer from the 1990s.
Right.
um, and I obviously came into my orbit as a. I was this feels like I'm making some kind of admission here.
Great.
I favoured Manchester United in the 90s.
Oh no.
Not over Sunderland.
Oh, okay.
Sunderland were always there, but I had a next door neighbour that was a United fan, and
Yeah.
he was into them because he's from there. So I kind of got into them during the 92-93 season before they won the title. Then they won the title that season. So
See, I've always preferred Manchester City
yeah,
because of Georgie Kincladze. I know the Georgie Kincladze is not the topic. The topic is Eric Cantona.
No. But there are two reasons for me loving Manchester United. There's one, Peter Schmeichel, because of he's a tall blonde bloke and he's a really good goalkeeper, which I related to apart from the very good goalkeeper bit, just tall and blonde. And Eric Cantona, who was just an incredible footballer to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I was obviously. Actually, this gives me a chance to bring up a point that happened on last week's episode.
Oh yeah, setting
I'm
a
a
record
lot
straight.
younger than Richard, and Richard proclaimed to be younger than me last week. So this is an opportunity for me to say I was a very young pup when Eric Cantona was in his pomp at Manchester United, but I can vaguely remember him playing against Sunderland actually.
Yes.
When he scored that famous chip against Lionel Perez, who was just in no man's land, really. He's just sort of
as quite often Lionel Perez would find himself. Right. Yeah. No, just watching him play is incredible. If you ever look back on, highlights from those years, Man United were by far the best team to watch in England at the time. Right up until Arsene Wenger came in at Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, the Man United were very much the successful team of my youth, and we have a lot to thank them for, really, because they stopped Newcastle winning anything.
Yes,
and Cantona no doubt played his part in that. He was he was a maverick, really. If there was ever a player to be described as a maverick, it was Cantona. But he was obviously. I think people kind of forget he played for Leeds before Man United, and he wasn't wanting to shy away from controversy, was he? Really, sort of, let's say, greeted a Crystal Palace fan in a game at Selhurst Park in 1995,
1995, yeah. Quite remarkable.
So, which is not something you see that often or ever, really, from footballers. But he was, I believe, he felt he had reason to do that, so went and hoofed him.
Yeah. Do you know why?
Did he insult his mother? That's usually the reason
No.
people do things like this.
No, the guy who did it claims, or it was reported that he said, "It's an early bath for you, Cantona."
Oh, right. Okay.
And that somehow flicked the switch.
Right,
head.
That is very, very much screaming the final straw. Like, he's had a terrible day. Like, and he's like, lots and lots of things have gone, and that's it. And he's taking it out on this guy who I think deserved it, really. I mean, you can't say things like that, can you?
Yeah.
But
actually, sorry, I'm doing Mr. Cantona a disservice here.
Right.
It's an early bath for you, Mr. Cantona, is what Matthew Simmons claimed he shouted at Eric Cantona.
Okay. Right.
Which in front of a judge probably sounds a lot better than what Eric Cantona said. He said, which was, "Fuck off back to France, you French motherfucker."
Right. We're going to have to put a bleep in there or an explicit in there.
Again, looking at the demographic, I'm probably not going to bother with the old bleep.
Right. Okay. So I think the two conflicting stories. One thing that wasn't conflicting though is, but he did just kick him in the face. I mean, and then there was that incredible interview, wasn't it?
Yes.
Seagull the troll. I think fish are being thrown into the sea or something.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
When the seagulls follow the trawler, they think that sardines will be thrown into the sea. Yeah. Thank you.
And that was it. That was all he said. Yeah.
I think he'd asked United's press officer for what is seagull in English, or what does this mean? I think it might have been a French term. I can kind of get it. It's talking about journalists kind of sniffing after a story in the hope that something's going to be thrown at them, and he didn't throw them anything. So
You can just imagine the press officer there with his head in his hands as that press conference took place. Oh no.
Right, got a bit of a situation here.
Just
No,
like
it was incredible.
the
I think one of the best things about that is the commentary by then soon to be BBC commentator Jonathan Pierce.
oh yeah.
Um, I think he was either doing TV highlights or he was doing it on the radio for Capital, and it's just so
Yeah,
funny.
it is great. I've heard.
My word!
He of course Cantona famously just then retired
Yeah,
at the age of like 30 something.
32. He would have been.
Very much like George Harrison leaving the Beatles. I'm
Yeah.
leaving now. Like I don't know, put an advert in for Teddy Sheringham. Like that's
But
like
he did it in a way that was just so definite and final to it. He retired,
yeah.
and no, he never did come back. He never played, save for Soccer Aid, I think he played in, or something ridiculous like that. But he's never saw fit to play football again.
Oh, you're not
Whereas,
his mind.
whereas a year after Cantona retired, Peter Schmeichel did the same thing. Decided midway through the treble winning season,
Yeah.
I'm retiring now. He retired, but then came back. I think he played for Atletico Madrid, maybe someone like that. Then came back to play for Manchester City.
Oh yeah, and then he went to Villa, did he?
Yeah, yeah. But he did play for City for a bit
I remember him playing
against
for City
United.
because famously Gary Neville doesn't shake his hand in the tunnel.
Yeah, for that reason.
Yeah.
For that reason.
Yeah. But I mean, Canada was just amazing. Some of the goals were just incredible. Like,
Yeah,
and then of course after he retired, he got his most famous role, which was as the King in Liam Gallagher's video for Once, which is probably what he's best known for, really, you'd think.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but Gallagher did it. Obviously, Liam Gallagher's a Man City fan, and he did an interview about how this came about, and he was like, he wanted Cantona to do it because he thinks he's cool and stuff. But he said his people were ringing Cantona's people saying, "Oh, we'll get you a car, we'll get you a flight," and it was just, "I will get my own flight, I will get my own car, I will get my own." He's like, "I will get my own fucking everything." He's like, "We couldn't do anything for him." He says, "I will get my own food, I will bring my own wine." He said he just can't.
great.
He's just all right then, just come in. And he said he came, did it, and just fucked off.
He must have been absolutely impossible to manage, but at the same time, probably
Oh, yeah.
because he delivered. Like he never
Yeah.
went through a barren spell. He came back from that huge, like 8 month suspension, I think it
Yeah,
was,
oh,
and
yeah.
he
Well, he
came
was
back.
totally banned from everything, wasn't he? He couldn't even train or anything, could he? Like he couldn't.
Yeah,
Have you heard the story? I can't remember who's telling it. Um, it might be. It's obviously a Manchester United player from at the time, and they were awful in that game. I think they got beat. Did they get beat off Palace that day? Um,
well, I'm not sure it ended
well,
very well for
it
them.
might have been. It might have been Gary Neville. And he said that they knew they were in for it because they were awful, and he was saying that they were like, "Oh, great, Cantona's taking the heat off us all here." And he said they got into the dressing room after the game, and Ferguson's going around all of them. You're a disgrace. You're the worst bunch of professionals. Screwing proper hair dry treatment. And then he said he's thinking, "Oh, God, well, at least it's going to get worse when he gets to Eric." And he says he turns to Cantona and he just goes, "And Eric, you can't be doing that, mind."
Yeah, I have heard that. I think it's someone like I want to say Gary Pallister
Yeah, I
or
can't
like
remember who it
Lee
is.
Sharp.
Lee Shaw. It might be Lee Shaw. Could it be Lee? Yeah, but it's just it's sort of you can't be doing that, mind, Eric.
Yeah, yeah. Like when he did that, I'm sure he like knew straight away. I shouldn't have done that.
Think I've gone a bit far here, really.
Yeah, like mid-flight.
Yeah. Oh, what am I doing?
Yeah, and there's no way you can go at that point. It's like you can't like
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
deviate your path.
Just imagine like Ferguson watching it, like, oh no,
Did he just? Has he just?
no, no, no. And
So
of
they have to
course,
go off. They have to go off the opposite side because Sellers Park, the tunnel's in the corner.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So so you had to walk alongside the fans for
Yeah,
a good stretch anyway.
did it again. Just like offering them all out. Please, Eric, please. Yeah,
Great.
just very cool as well. Like the Man United kit with the collar up, like a scruff, like collar up with the iconic like sharp
Yeah.
sponsorship, and then just chipping Lionel Perez from 20 yards and just shrugging his shoulders and turning around as if it was the easiest thing in the world. But yeah, that was a good one. I'm pleased that one came out. It was enjoyable. We
Yeah.
got time for another,
We'll have room for another. Yeah. We've got room.
which
One
is
or
about
two more maybe.
spin
Spinning now.
wheel. Spin that wheel. I'll be able to tell by your reaction whether it's. Oh, he's laughing.
So
He's
it's
laughing.
eating things as you walk around the supermarket.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Right now. So, do you do this?
Not anymore. I used to. I
Yeah.
can't remember why I stopped. I
I.
might have just forgotten to pay for something once. I think that's like,
Yeah. I've
yeah,
done. I
that's a
do
step
that
too far.
a lot, but I've done it. I will like pick at the grapes. So like, I will like have a few grapes as I'm walking around. The Becky goes mad. Say, can you not? Like it's embarrassing. But I will pick at the grapes, or I'll have an orange or something. Like because I think they offer them for kids anyway. So I'm like, well, especially if I'm with my mum, I'm like, oh, I'll have one of these. I am the child technically, so I'll eat them. But I have been known to like rip the end off the baguette and eat that.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely I've seen people feed the kids with food that they've procured from the supermarket, which just kind of makes sense. I never did it with my daughter. Maybe
No,
that's why I stopped because there was definitely a time where I'd go around the supermarket and I'd open a pack of crisps or something,
yeah,
or have a drink of whatever was in there,
I just,
cordial or something.
I think that I'll nick a, I'll nick a Carlin. I'll nick a, I'll nick a grape or two, and all of that stuff, and I'll rip the end off of. But I think you've got like the indignity if you do something of then like paying for an empty bottle or like putting a half drunken bottle of pop on the checkout, which is just a bit embarrassing, especially when you're like 32.
Yeah. Plus, you
Like
can't really get away with it now with self takeout thingies.
I've got some hacks for that, but I won't be talking about that on here.
No.
I've just been to a supermarket. I went to Morrison's just, and I hate honestly. I was paying for me shopping as I always do in full every week in the self checkout. Definitely every time, scan
In
everything.
full, entirely. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I had a couple. We did a big shop yesterday, but we forgot a few things. So I was like, "Oh, I'll call in and get these." And like the woman, it was the woman working in there was just a moron. Like I went to the self checkout because I only had like a few things, but I was walking back, so I needed to buy a bag. I wasn't an expected trip, so I didn't have one. She's walking around guarding these bags
Mm,
like a like
yeah.
newborn baby. And I said, "Can I have a bag, please?" And she proceeds to start scanning this pass that she's got in her hand, and goes, "So what you wanting to do? Pay for your shop?" And I went, "I just want a bag." It was probably like, "Oh, you fucking mental." And, oh, well, why didn't you say? I literally called you over and said, "Excuse me, can I have a bag, please?" 60 pence that was because she
Yeah.
made
60
she
pence.
forced me to scan it.
Oh yeah, no, that when I did that, I did the other day, and she scanned it for us, thinking
Yeah.
I was going to defraud them out of 60 pence.
Oh, yeah, because I'm not
Right.
paying carrier bags. That's the one thing I will admit to is I'm not paying for them. But you've got
It was
like,
it,
I was
it's
just
just
annoyed because I was like, I wish I'd eaten
yeah,
all the shopping in the shop.
yeah. And what would happen if you did? Like, what would you like if you
Just
got to the
start
self
cooking.
checkout and like this boost bar I've accidentally eaten?
Yeah,
You're not stealing because theft is intentionally depriving them of a product. You're
yeah,
not
but
depriving them of a product because you're intending to pay because you're in the shop. You're not outside the shop eating, which is theft. You're walking around the shop and you're saying,
yeah,
"I've got the package here. I'm going to buy it."
yeah. I guess if you then just don't, then I guess it probably is
Yeah,
there.
but that's
What,
just the same as like secreting something else on your person.
does
Like,
anyone like? So if you were to like, I don't know, go into Morrison's and take a sausage roll from the bakery and eat it, walking around the shop, like, would anyone notice really?
probably not. No, that's the thing. As like as a kid, you'd think theft is like this big kind of espionage,
Like,
and that it's all
I
about
don't
like
think they're watching.
stuffing your coat with like as much as possible. But in reality,
Like, I don't
they're not
think.
looking.
No, they're not, are
They're not
they?
looking all the time, are they?
No, they're not.
I don't
No.
condone it.
No, I don't either. Just for for the purposes of this. Um, I think I'm not saying you should go out and steal your shopping, but I don't think people would notice if you had a sausage roll while you were walking around the supermarket. You will look like a bit of an embarrassment while you're eating it, though. I think
Yeah,
should be the problem.
shards of pastry everywhere,
It's like crumbs. You're not getting away. I know we like, yeah. If you're gonna do that, I would suggest not a sausage roll, actually.
or a mince pie.
Yeah, or like, yeah, chocolate, or you pay donut.
I
You need to
accidentally
heat them tikka masalas up, don't you? Yeah, well, yeah.
I accidentally stole a birthday card from the post office
How did you get
once
straight from the post office?
because I think it was for my dad's birthday. And I was when I was living in Sheffield, and I just went into the post office, picked up the card,
Yeah.
went to the little bit where you fill in forms and stuff in the post office, wrote it out, stuck the address on, and then went to the little kiosk to send it,
Oh, yeah.
forgetting that I'd bought a
Yeah.
card. Like the card was obviously their card, and then sent it. And I
Yeah.
thought, well, I'm not technically thieving here because I've left the shop and the card is still in the shop. So
Yeah.
how does that play?
Well, no, the card's not in the shop anymore, is it really? It's on its way to. Yeah.
Yeah, well, at the point of me leaving the shop, the card was
This
in
would
the
be a great way
bag.
of this. You
Well,
could,
yeah, where does it stop? Yeah,
but this could be a great way of like, because you could in the post office, you could like if they sell other things, you could like take a card in that you're going to write out, and you could like secretly put some things inside the card, right?
yeah.
And then just put the envelope and put your address on it and just post it to
Post
yourself.
it to yourself. I guess like post offices are like connected to a lot of WH Smiths, so it's
You
whatever you
see,
can get from WH Smith that you can fit in an
yeah,
envelope.
yeah. So, yeah. But I mean, what would that
Pack
be?
of Haribo's
Envelopes. Like a envelope.
envelopes. Yeah,
Pack of Haribo. Yeah, you could get a you could get a pack of Haribos in. Some a pack of balloons.
yeah. Yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to get big ticket items
Party invitations.
in an envelope unless you go as big as a Jiffy bag. But even then, they're probably going to say you're going to have to pay for that Jiffy bag.
Probably gonna
So
if it's quite heavy this. What is in this? Printer.
what's in this?
So you've just stuck the Jiffy bag to the printer. Like you can't, you know, you're not getting away with this. Um, I might start eating stuff as I go around the supermarket again, but then just paying for the packet and see if I get like judged. See if like the woman in the on the checkout or the man, um, like kind of looks at me funny if I
Yeah,
because you couldn't do it the self checkout because the weight would be wrong.
exactly. That's it. Yeah.
So
So
like
I guess
Gary.
people still do it.
Yeah, people must do it and then just go, look, I was hungry, I've eaten this. But you're not really in a supermarket long enough, are you, as an adult, to have to eat something walking around it. Because then Gary Tesco would have to cut. So we did the scan as you shop thing yesterday.
Great fun, that.
Well, it is, but then the last thing I put in, I forgot. We needed some bog roll, and it was the last thing I put in the trolley. And I chucked it in, and I forgot to scan it. And of course, it was the first thing he picked up to check that I'd scanned. And he went, "This you haven't scanned this," and I was like, "Oh no!" It was the last thing I put in, and Becky was like, "Well, why have you?" I was like, "No, I genuinely did." Like,
Being bundled out.
yeah, yeah. No, I was like, "No, no, no, my cup run is over." But I was like, "No, no, I did like genuinely just put that in because I'm not used to having to scan the stuff as I put it into the trolley."
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so that was then a cue to get everything scanned again because he didn't believe me that oh, he's a right dick. Anyway, but, if you're listening to this, I hope you're not. You're banned from listening to this, actually. Turn it off.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, but yeah, eating water around the supermarket, probably not for me.
Yeah, I might, as you say, I might give it a go.
We should
We've
do
got
it.
time for one more spin, do
We
you
got time for one more spin, yeah?
One more. We haven't utilised the veto yet, so.
No, we haven't. We could always veto. Right. I don't know what it is. So Richard's got it. I can't see it.
It's the way it's been written. It's the blind lad from Big Brother getting hit in the head. So at this point, we're gonna have to drop the clip in because I think rights are fine because it happened like 20 years ago.
Strike one. I can't believe you swung at that. That was god awful.
Give me a nice one, man.
Hell! Fucking idiot! That was fucking. Where the fuck was that?
It was me, Mo.
That's fucking piss, guys!
Sorry.
Fucking
No, I'm really
idiots!
sorry. I'm only laughing at like how angry you are.
I need to get the fuck inside.
But yeah, I forgot his name.
Mikey.
Blind bloke. Mikey. So yeah, Mikey's in the pool, and the American guy. Who's the American guy?
What was he called? You're the Big Brother guy.
Yeah, it was just a while ago. I'm just googling it now. Big Brother 9. It was at the baseball. Here we go. Darnell
What was it?
Darnell and Mohammed. So they were throwing the ball around the pool, and Mikey, who was the first blind Big Brother contestant, is in the pool just minding his own business. And I've seen the video, and I think they're trying to get it as close to him as possible, maybe.
Well, they're trying to hit on there, really.
Yeah. and
Unless they're trying to shock him.
yeah. When Darnell got ready to throw the ball, he murmured, "This ball hurts" as well. And Mohammed connected with the next shot, sending the ball hurtling. This is on the Daily Star website. Sending the ball hurtling towards an unaware Mikey. I mean, you would be unaware, but yeah, he started screaming and furiously rubbing his neck, and he bellowed. And Mikey wasn't happy at all. That wasn't funny. Darnell looked, "I'm sorry, it's funny. I'm only laughing at your reaction. I'm not laughing at you getting hit in the head." Then the women got involved, didn't they?
Yeah.
That's when the fun stops because they all get all serious about it, going, "You could have killed him."
Oh, yeah, like a bit over the top on it. But it was...
As Mikey retreated inside, Darnell admitted, "That was the worst thing that could have happened."
I mean, he did it on purpose, so like probably not really. Like the only
I feel like we learned a lesson.
the only excuse I can find for them is that maybe they were trying to like scare him with a splash. It's the reaction. It's too good. Like these, fucking hell, like,
Yeah. It's funny because he's Scottish, not because he's blind. It's funny because he's Scottish.
Yeah, it's not funny because he's blind. But it's like rubbing his neck as well. It's like but like he kind of looks round as well. It's like, well, like,
It's-
he's like turning his head like, well, I don't think you're gonna find out, Mikey. That was when Big Brother was just like, well, it was when it was good, really, because it was
yeah,
just,
I didn't think I was watching it so late. Big Brother 9. I thought I would have had it down for like Big Brother 4 or 5, but
yeah,
I must
that
have still
yeah.
been staying the course at that point. I don't know when I stopped watching it.
I never really watched many of them, but I do remember that one being on, and yeah, like that would not like nowadays. That would just be well, they would be in serious trouble for that, shall we say?
Yeah, yeah, and obviously it fell foul. Big Brother itself fell foul of
Well,
lots of diversity
lots of things that
issues.
we will not be discussing.
No, none of them have sadly have made the list. Big Brother was like massive. Like the first Big Brother was
Oh, it was
2000,
huge.
so it was on the same time as Euro 2000,
Yeah,
and it was like the whole Nasty Nick dethroning situation. That was like appointment TV because you'd all hear about what was going to happen, and it would have been leaked by Channel 4 that
yeah,
day about he's been chucked out of the house. But everyone was like, well, there's going to be some kind of showdown, so we're all watching. It must have been like at the time, Channel 4 had rarely got huge like viewership for this stuff.
yeah,
They're probably like you'd probably only get high numbers for The Simpsons, which is
yeah,
or Channel or
yeah,
Friends,
yeah.
the
Friends,
stuff.
yeah,
But Big Brother was its real kind of, I wouldn't say breakthrough moment because it's it's quite a big channel, but that was when everybody started paying attention to Big Brother,
yeah.
like 2000, and it became national news, and it was like every character leaving or every little development became a huge thing, and it was like with that going on the same time as Euro 2000, it was such an event. It was great.
I was 8.
Yeah, yeah. Say I was.
Yes, you
'Cause I
won.
am I am younger than you. No.
Yes, it was 6, right? Yes, of course.
Yeah. I'm 9 years older than you. Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, Christ. Yes. So I'd have been just turning 17.
Yeah. In the pub for you.
Yeah.
In the supermarket,
Yeah.
eating a bit of a baguette.
Stealing cards from the post office. Brilliant.
Yeah, a Cantona shirt on.
Big collar turned up.
Oh well,
That's it.
that was it. That was good. That was the Tide. Eric Cantona eating things as you walk around the supermarket, and the blind lad from Big Brother being hit by the baseball. We'll be back next week. If you've got any suggestions, for someone suggested Caravan, so I'll be putting that into the equation after this.
Yeah.
If you've got any other topics. However, well, I mean, I will veto them if they are just like horrific. So use your love, but do get in touch. Do let us know if you disagree with any of the opinion. If you are an avid eater in the supermarket, then let me know why we should do it. And if you are Eric Cantona, then please can I lend a tenner? That is all for this week. We'll be back next week with however many more topics our 45-minute time frame allows for. But all that's left to say is thanks for listening.